Do you hop right into your ranked games? Feel like you're not super confident in your shot? Maybe you just want to be a more consistent Valorant player. Today, I'd like to share with you guys some of the practice routines that you can start implementing, as well as the strengths that each one has to better increase your aiming consistency. I would recommend that you try all of these out if they seem interesting. Afterwards, you can then custom tailor fit them to your own personal needs. Hi, my name is Renox, and today I'll be your own personal guide on these techniques. It's my pleasure to share with you these useful ways to create a warm-up routine, which can potentially help you feel more confident and better equipped to win your Valorant games. I believe that consistently warming up is a great way to unlock your potential as a Valorant player. Otherwise, you'll sometimes find yourself playing less consistently. If you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to comment down below which setting you found the most interesting or useful. Also, if you feel like we missed anything, comment what types of ways you would like to improve your aim. Before we dive straight in, as always, we have our question of the day. How do you guys like the Smite skin collection? Personally, I like how affordable it is. It's nice to know that I don't have to drop hundreds of dollars on one bundle. However, I feel like it's a pretty huge dip in their usual quality and don't really plan on purchasing it myself. I would love to see the same quality of work in more budget-friendly skins in the near future. But enough about what I think. I want you to let us know how you feel and if you're planning on purchasing any of them. I want to start by saying that being consistent with your warm-up routine is far more important than having the right one. Each person has a different set of skills, and the things that they need to work on will vary from person to person. So let me explain how I like to currently warm up, and then I'll discuss how to create an extensive warm-up that you can adopt for your own future use. Copying mine might be fine for you, but being able to recognize and mold your routine to fit you will give you better results. It's perfectly fine if your warm-up is simple, somewhere in between, or extremely intricate. The main thing is to try and make sure it is as consistent as possible. Okay, let's jump straight into my routine. First, I like to start simple with still standing practice spots. I like to work on a little bit of burst strafing. I do this at long, medium, and close range. Afterwards, I move on to crouch spraying, and I do this at long, medium, and close ranges again. This is the number one key to warm up your aim, is by changing the distance of where you are shooting and how you shoot. Regardless if you want to work on still, moving, or appearing targets, mixing up those parts is the best way to warm up your aim. Otherwise, when you go into your games, you won't be as comfortable engaging your enemy at all the different angles and ranges. Next, I like to play a few rounds of hard bots. If you have a hard time with this, start with easy and eventually work your way up to medium and then hard. Do this at your own pace and don't feel pressured to do hard right away. What I would suggest is try to identify what part of your aim may be a little weak. Do you struggle with spray control? Start practicing it on different bots at different ranges. Maybe use the target to see how you're doing with that spray control. Maybe you have a hard time flicking? Then I would suggest maybe focusing on the easy, medium, and hard bots. But overall, if you don't know exactly what your weak points are, make sure that you are keeping your warm-up consistent and practicing the different ranges and using the different shooting types. Lastly, don't feel hesitant to use outside sources of warming up. I personally have dabbled in KOVAAKS, AimLabs, and Osu. They're all great choices, and I would recommend adding them on top of the warm-up I covered. However, there is nothing that truly replaces the feeling of warming up in the actual game. Hate getting full blinded from Phoenix flashes or a breach flash? Well, playing the game more and actively working on dodging it will work wonders. But one thing that I discovered that helped me stay warm and kept me ready for flashes is working on dodging my own flashes. You can do this in the practice range or customs. Not only does this warm up your general mouse movement, but it doubles as a viable Phoenix tactic that players like Subrosa will use in their own gameplay outside of practice. Learning how to turn 180 degrees from your flash is a tactic that can be covered in a later video and its perks, but first I want to highlight it as a warm-up routine. I pretty much like to practice throwing out my Phoenix flash and turning 180 degrees to dodge it. Although it's not the same as dodging an enemy's flash, it's still a great way to keep that movement fresh and ready to go when you need it in a game. This is probably the most underutilized warm-up device, and I think it's a great way to loosen up. What's great is that you can also do some of your challenges in Spike Rush, which is an added perk. So those of you that are trying to finish your challenges faster, this is a great way for that too. I personally like to end off with these, as the queue time is super fast, unlike unrated matches. I would definitely recommend hopping into an unrated game before hopping into a ranked game, but because of its long queue time, I think Spike Rush can be just as good. Although the orbs and random weapons aren't ideal, it's a quick way to play out some rounds before heading over to ranked. With no ranked attached in a casual setting, you can also build some confidence before heading into the sweatier games. I would say if you're not comfortable waiting for a long period of time or playing out a full game, Spike Rush is definitely one of the best warm-ups out there. Currently, this is my favorite way to warm up, and I feel like it helps me the most. The key to getting the most out of Valorant's deathmatch mode is to pay attention to the ranges you are fighting at. Make sure to focus on bursting and tap shooting when you are dealing with enemies that are at a longer range, and being comfortable crouch spraying when they are closer. Also, I recommend those looking to get the most out of deathmatch to focus on their aim and movement. A common complaint that I hear is that players dislike deathmatch because of the sound and minimap UAV. Although I agree wholeheartedly that this is less than ideal, if you don't rely on those aspects yourself and practice the engagements like you should, there is nothing as effective as deathmatch. Ignore the radar campers and scoreboard. Deathmatch's sole purpose is to warm you up. On top of that, deathmatch is great because unlike third-party aim trainers, the focus isn't just on raw aim or mouse control. You can work on your movement, your control with different weapons, and it helps you get a better grasp of how certain engagements will feel around the map. Essentially, deathmatch can help you replicate some of the fighting scenarios that you'll get into real games, which is the closest thing to the real deal. It will also help you become more aware of how to pre-aim with your crosshair, as well as deal with multiple enemies from various angles. I've spent countless hours in Counter-Strike playing deathmatch, and it's the core reason why my aim has gotten to the point at which it is today. I'm confident that the Valorant deathmatch will do the same, and it's a blast to play. Overall, deathmatch is something that I highly recommend, and when coupled with a third-party aim trainer, it can help quite a bit. KOVAAKS is the big boy of all the aim trainers I've used. It is extremely extensive and has scenarios that can fit any player, regardless if you're new or an experienced aimer. Not only that, it's more customizable and can really help out players who are serious about improving their mouse control. KOVAAKS also has the feature to use and create aiming routines, which can help you consistently practice scenarios that you feel can help you. Make sure to use the same Valorant sensitivity and 103 FOV, as it will transition better into your Valorant games. You can do this by opening up the settings and selecting Valorant from the drop-down menu. Some scenarios that have personally helped me progress as a player are Bounce 180, One Wall 6 Target Small, Ascend Tracking version 3, and Bounce 180 Tracking. With the newer updates, KOVAAKS even has general recommended routines that are fairly good. If you don't know where to start, beginning with the beginner routines and work your way up. You can also head on over to ProGuides.com, where our coaches can help develop a more customized routine just for you. There, you can chat with our great coaches and see which one fits you best. Besides that, you can sort by highest rated, which has some pretty good modes. The key is to not be afraid to try different ones out and keep figuring out which ones you like. Keep in mind that you should be incorporating both tracking and flicking modes to better round your aim out. Both are important skills to have and will help you tremendously in Valorant. AimLab is the friendlier, less complex version of KOVAAKS. Its simpler design and more appealing aesthetic makes it much more beginner-friendly. You might have heard of this one because many popular Valorant streamers are sponsored by them. AimLabs is a great way to start and hone your aim, but if you're looking to become more experienced, KOVAAKS is definitely the better option. Some scenarios that I like are grid shot, motion shot, switch track, and circle shot. I recommend that you focus on your accuracy first and work your speed up as you become more comfortable. Many people get frustrated with their initial scores or progress and give up on themselves. If you're able to slow your pace down, take each day one by one, you will see the progression both in the aim trainer as well as in Valorant. Similarly to KOVAAKS, you want to figure out scenarios that incorporate both tracking and flicking aspects to get the most out of it. If you take aim training as seriously as a workout regime, I guarantee you that you will see improvements with your aim in no time. Although Osu is not an aim trainer by any means, it's a ton of fun and can help you develop your mouse control. If you're new to the game, try and download a song pack as well as a skin which can help reduce the visual clutter on screen. For me, I started with 2 or 3 star songs and I've worked my way up to 6+ star songs. Again, this won't directly help your aim, but it is a great way to have some fun, enjoy the music, and work on your general mouse control. Personally, my ideal routine would consist of Osu first, KOVAAKS second, Deathmatch third, and lastly an unrated game before I start my ranked game. This way, I can start with something a little bit more fun and ease my way into playing with full confidence. Again, whatever works for you will vary greatly. However, I would suggest you take a look into these 3 types of third-party aim trainers and see if any of them fancy your style. The practice range used to be my go-to way of warming up. It has so many cool scenarios and is a great way of slowly easing yourself into the next match. Although I rarely use it anymore ever since Deathmatch was released, I do still believe it has some merits. For example, you can use it without having to leave the lobby while you're waiting for friends to join or a tournament match to start. Additionally, it's especially convenient if you're not too fond of using third-party aim trainers. If you feel like third-party aim trainers aren't your style, I'd suggest that you continue to use the practice range. Make sure you're focusing on your flicking and tracking as well as the different ranges that you're shooting the bots. Finally, look into using the Spike Diffusal and Arm Game Mode, as they are my old personal favorites that I like to end my warm-up with. At the end of the day, practice makes perfect. I covered some of my ways as well as other popular ways of warming up. However, it's more important that you test out and try what works for you. If you're able to develop your own warm-up and consistently utilize it every time before you play, it can help you develop much quicker as a player. On top of that, if you're able to identify the weaknesses in your aim and address them in your warm-up, you'll become a great player at an even faster rate. Here at ProGuides, we wanted to cover some of the typical ways that you can use to improve your aim through proper warm-ups. If there are any tips you feel helped, be sure to comment and tell us why. Additionally, if there's anything we missed, please let us know. We love to learn more too. Well, that's all that we have for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. To keep up to date with us, make sure to hit that bell notification, which ensures that you stay up to date with our videos and ahead of the competition. If you want to learn more about anything Valorant related, head on over to ProGuides.com for the best Valorant on-demand coaching. Our coaches are among the very best, and we hope you check them out if you enjoyed this video. They will help you with any of your individual Valorant needs and can bring you to the next level. If that's not your style, make sure to check out our Discord. We have a great community where you can chat, hang out, and possibly find some friends to play with. Stay tuned for our future videos and keep up the grind, ProGuides fam.